Do you want to learn how to ungate nearly any brand on Amazon? Well, stay tuned and find out how. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to talk about a very surprisingly misunderstood concept, which is ungating brands on Amazon. And to be quite honest with you, I've never seen so much confusion about such a very simple topic. So I thought I'd do a video today explaining exactly how to get yourself ungated on Amazon, how to sell nearly any brand on Amazon. And it's so simple, it's actually crazy. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video and explain how to ungate any brand on Amazon, or nearly any brand. So what is ungating? Ungating basically means unlocking a brand. Let's say you go to some Nike item that you want to sell, some Nike socks, and you request to sell an item, and you find that you need to submit information to Amazon to allow you to sell Nike, basically. So you have to submit some information, and then Amazon will either accept or decline your request. Cool, so how do you ungate a brand like Nike or Lego or anyone like that? It is actually shockingly simple, and like I said, I've never seen so many people mess up such a very simple concept. And all you need to do is buy 10, I don't know why I'm holding up 5, 10 items of that brand from a retailer or distributor who will give you an invoice once you've ordered. Okay? It's as simple as that. That's all you need. 10 items of that brand. And then what you do is you just go to the request form, fill out the information, submit your invoices for those 10 items, making sure that the delivery address and billing address match. The billing address of your invoice matches your business address, and you should be good to go. And as simple as that. So it doesn't get any more complicated than that. However, yeah, surprisingly, people seem to struggle with this. Now, I've got some notes here with some little tips here. And yeah, that is the most basic level of ungating a brand on Amazon. Buy 10 of an item, that brand, get an invoice, submit it, and get accepted. Now, sometimes you will run into issues where your request gets declined. And I've had this in the past. And so my first tip for that is going to be just resubmit it. Every time you submit a request to Amazon to ungate a brand, it goes to a different person. Okay? And as long as you have provided a valid invoice from an authorized distributor, which most online retailers are, you should get accepted. So if they decline you, just keep resubmitting it and do it over and over and over again until you get accepted. I think the most times I've had to submit invoices for one brand was 5 or 6 times, but normally things get accepted the first time. And I've heard stories in America especially where people have to submit the same invoices over and over 30 or 40 times before they finally get accepted. So perseverance is key on a lot of these things if, they're not accepting it. Now, another thing to understand as well is seller support is terrible, okay? The people that they have working there are not good. No offense if you work at Amazon. But, I've had I've had requests decline saying, oh, the items have not been delivered. And I've submitted literally a picture with the items, So sometimes you just got to ignore what they say, just resubmit and accept it. And a few tips here. So one would be, if you really are struggling to ungate a brand, what I used to do is not only do I submit the invoices like a PDF, a digital version or a picture, I also printed it off. I took a picture on my desk, and I took a picture of the actual 10 products as well, like on my desk with the invoice. And that way they can see you've got the products in hand, you've taken a picture of the invoice, and that invoice is next to those products. So that's a little extra tip just to try and push things over the edge. And if you really are struggling to ungate a brand. The next thing you can do is just in the description, I always tend to write, say, hello, I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for reviewing my request. Here is the invoice showing 10 items purchased from an authorized distributor. Please accept my my ungating request. Thanks very much. I don't know if that helps or not, but I sometimes add that in as well. Excuse me. I'm just going to have a beverage here while we get on to the next tip. So the next one is, and this is another one that confuses many people. And let me just have a drink. Another one that confuses many people is they think they need to submit the same item that they're ungating for. So as an example, and I'm going to bring up my talking sort of head here on the screen, if you give me a second. I'm very disorganized. Let's move that to that screen. Cool. So what we've got here is... why is this not working? Okay, well, I'm just going to have to wing it. Cool. So you do not have to submit the exact same item for the ungate. So let's say, for example, you are trying to ungate a $500 Lego set. And that's the one you've got in stock. You've got 10 of them sat around here, or maybe you've only got 2 or 3 of those Lego sets sat down here, okay? That are £500. And you're thinking, oh my God, I've got these £500 Lego sets and I've got 3 of them. How am I going to get 7 more of these to ungate Lego? Well, you don't need the same item. You can go and buy the cheapest item that you can get for that. So maybe for Lego, it'd be a minifigure, okay? And you can just buy 7 more of those. And then, so we've got 3 plus 7. I don't know why I'm using my hands. 3 plus 7 is 10, and then you've got your 10 basically. So you can mix and match items as long as they're of the same brand, and submit those as your invoices. And if you want to be really convoluted, you could buy 1 of each different Lego item, get from a different retailer, have 10 different invoices. Each invoice would have 1 item on it, but as long as they all add up to 10, then you are golden. You could submit all that information and you should get accepted. So yeah, you do not need to be ungating the exact item you want to sell. You can try and ungate a £500 Lego set by submitting an invoice for 10 very cheap £5 or $5 Lego sets, like minifigures. And just in case you're not getting this concept, it could be that you're trying to ungate some very expensive Nike shoes. You can submit an invoice for 10 pairs of Nike socks, and that's fine. Or you could send, you could do 5 pairs of Nike socks and 5 Nike footballs. It could be anything of that brand, basically. So that's one thing that people really don't get, have struggled with that concept, trying to get that through their head, I suppose. Trying to understand that, they don't need to use the same product to ungate on, and it could be 10 any item of that brand, basically, to submit. Cool, so that's the first tip, So if you've got, say, 3 expensive items and you need to top it up to 10, just go and buy 7 cheap ones, if you can do it, if that brand sells cheaper items. So the next tip I was going to say, we've gone through the same items. It can be 10 different items. And we talked about just resubmitting as well. Just be persistent if you keep getting declined. Another tip as well, by the way, you can use Amazon to ungate on Amazon. So let's say you want to ungate Lego, okay? You can just buy 10 Lego sets on Amazon, get the invoice from Amazon on your account, just log into your account, go to invoices, download them, and submit them to Amazon. They'll accept their own invoices. As long as you don't use Prime, that's a critical thing. Amazon don't like you using Prime for those items. Sorry, I'm pointing at you guys. Sorry. But you can use Amazon, basically, but just don't use Amazon Prime. So get it delivered via free delivery, non-Prime, and then just submit those invoices. I've ungated plenty of brands by using Amazon invoices. So there's another tip as well, basically. You guys see how easy this is? And then the final thing is just to say that there are some brands you just cannot sell on Amazon. Hugo Boss is one that comes to mind. They're called hard-gated items. And sometimes it's a brand that's hard-gated, like Hugo Boss, for example. I don't know if the whole brand is, but every time I've tried to sell Hugo Boss, I've just been, they just won't let you. They'll make you jump through all the hoops. They'll let you ungate it. And then when it comes to selling it, they just say, no, you can't do it. So unfortunately, there are some items and brands you just can't sell. Another one I've run into is Shark Hoovers. For some reason, I don't think that brand is necessarily gated, but the products that I had were gated, and I just wasn't able to sell them. So sometimes, it just happens. There's not much you can do about it. The best way to figure that out is just to see if there's other Amazon sellers on there. Are there any other FBA sellers selling that brand or selling that item? And that's normally a good indicator on whether you can get ungated. And if you're brand new, by the way, and this happened to me, when you're brand new, Amazon will make you jump through a bunch of hoops. If your account's like under 3 months old, they'll make you jump through a bunch of hoops to ungate a product and then just say you can't sell it. And again, this happened to me. I bought a load of Tommy Tippy baby bottles in my first sort of 3 months. I had 1,200 of them all in my office, just in the hallway and just piling up everywhere. They made me jump through the Tommy Tippy brand ungating. Then they made me jump through the baby feeding ungate. So sometimes you have to ungate brands, sometimes you have to ungate categories. You just submit the same invoices over and over. It's the same thing. And they made me jump through, I think there was one more as well, they made me jump through. So I think it was a 3 ungate thing. And basically then they said, oh no, you can't sell this. And then just suddenly, but there are other sellers on there. I think it's just because that category was fairly sensitive, being baby feeding. So they didn't want new sellers necessarily on there. But after sort of 3 months or so, I think just randomly one day I was able to sell. So sometimes if you're brand new, there are certain categories, certain items that Amazon's a bit more sensitive about. But yeah, guys, hope you found that video useful. Honestly, it's so easy to ungate. And as long as you can get an invoice from the website and you can just ask them, if they provide invoices, ask someone else, you know, does this website give invoices? And yeah, it's that simple, guys. It baffles me that people struggle so much with this concept. You know, I've ungated dozens and dozens of brands without any issue, apart from the kind of 1 or 2 times I had to submit the invoices a few, you know, one or 2 times, but well, up to 5 times, I think. But yeah, super easy, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Please press the subscribe button, which I'm probably pointing in the wrong direction. Leave me a comment. Tell me about any ungating problems you've had. Have you had any issues? Hopefully this video is going to be useful for you. Let me know if it is. And yeah, guys, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video, and I'll see you in the next one.